Hello, everyone. We're gonna talk a little bit more about the knee today, but we're gonna kind of shift it down towards the ankle and the foot and talk about a little bit on how the ankle and foot are related to the knee and how they can maybe be contributing to knee pain. So if you remember, typically knee pain, unless there was a direct traumatic event to the knee, usually isn't something necessarily wrong with the knee itself. It's not causing the pain. Typically, it's something above the knee or below the knee. So we're going to kind of focus on the foot and the ankle today. Okay, so also kind of going back, if you remember, we talked about the joint by joint approach, where each joint in the body has kind of a specific role or a specific thing that it provides. So when we look at the foot, it has more of a stability role, and then the ankle, mobility, knee stability, hip, kind of a mix of both, low back stability, and then all the way up there. So starting with the feet here, feet meant to provide, again, stability, support. When we step, right, it transfers that load up through the chain all the way basically up into the neck. So another thing that it does is there's a lot of motor control with the foot. So that's involved with balance and coordination stuff, along with the actual stability aspect of it. That's kind of part of it. So if we lose that stability and support, it can lead to a cascade of events, pain and dysfunction in other joints in the body, right? Such as the knee, the hip, it can go all the way up there. And it may actually be starting from the foot. So the most common reason that we lose the stability, the motor control aspect in the foot is from a previous injury. So something maybe like an ankle sprain. Okay, so when there's an injury, such as a sprain like that, the brain and the body kind of rewires itself to activate other muscles kind of in the area to protects from further damage, like the ligament sprain with the ankle sprain. So with that, like if we have a sprain like that, what it'll do is it'll tense up the outside muscles of the calf or of the lower leg. And when you go to step, they tense harder to protect that area. But in the process of the whole rewiring, it throws off the stability of basically everything in the lower chain and the lower extremities. And they've also found actually that with something like an ankle sprain, it kind of deactivates, or we're not able to recruit as much through the hips. So just remember that too. We've kind of covered the hips in the past, but when dealing with something with the knee, we want to look at the hips and the ankles and the feet. So if we lose that support in the foot, what can happen is the foot starts to kind of overpronate, right? It starts to flatten out, that arch collapses too much, and then the knee starts to dive and collapse towards the middle more. And this puts extra strain on the knee joint itself. That repeated over time can lead to that knee pain. So one of the big things we want to check, right, is there good stability in the foot? And that's really not too hard to do. So, and if there's not, we're going to be working on, balance, coordination, strengthening stuff for the bottom of the foot, intrinsic muscles of the foot there. Now, the other thing, so moving up just a little bit there, is the ankle. The ankle needs mobility. And specifically with the ankle, we're looking for adequate dorsiflexion, which is the ability for the foot to move up towards the shin or up towards the ceiling. And typically an adequate range for this, or accepted range, is about 20 degrees. And there's a lot of reasons why we could potentially become limited with this mobility. It could be things like not using it, or tight calves, always wearing high heels. But the most common reasons are post-surgery and, again, previous injury. So the ankle dorsiflexion, the mobility part of it, is extremely important for basically everything that we do. I mean, walking, running, jumping, squatting, just going from a sit to stand. It's extremely important. So if we start to lose that motion through there, well, I mean, then what happens, right? So something basically has to give in order to achieve the motion. The body's going to, again, compensate. You're going to achieve the movement that you're trying to accomplish, but something is going to give in the process in order to achieve it. So typically what will happen is either, again, just kind of going back to the stability of the foot part, the foot is going to start to overpronate. It's going to collapse. The arch is going to collapse. And then that knee is going to start to dive towards the middle. Or the foot is going to remain stable. It's going to be all good there. But then still that knee may collapse towards the middle, increasing the strain on the knee, causing that knee pain. So those are kind of two of the big things, and you can test for ankle mobility as well with it's called the wall dorsiflexion test. But also with that one and the foot, so ankle and the foot, I just wanted to cover that a little bit more. But we also, don't forget, we also need to look at the hips. So if you haven't seen that video, you can kind of go back and watch that as well. So I hope that covered some things. If you have any questions, just let me know, and we will be back soon with something new.